Hello everybody. Today what we're going to be learning about is slope-intercept form. So first off we need to figure out what is slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is the formula of a straight line and it looks like y equals mx plus b. And as a reminder, this is our slope, and our b value, this is our constant and our y-intercept. And so when we have this, we might have a few different equations, and we need to be able to figure it out. So given an equation of a line, we can be able to find out what the equation of this line is in slope-intercept form by first finding the slope. So I'm given 2 points here, and what I want to do is find the rise over run. So all I do is count how high I need to get to be at the same level as this point. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I just went up 6. So now I need to do is find my run, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure I counted that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we continue 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I just went up 6 over 12. And your m value in your equation of y equals mx plus b, my m value is my slope. So I went up 6 over 12, which reduces to 1/2. Now looking at this, you can also tell what your x and y intercept is. Your x-intercept is where this blue line crosses the x-axis, which is located right here. This point is 2, 0. And then your y-intercept, which I can label in green, that is located right here. This point is 0, -1. So I'll label this here as my y-intercept. Now, as we remember, the only things that we need to put into our equation is the slope and the b value, the m and the b value. So that would be y equals my slope, which is 1/2, and I'm going to have the variable x, which is my input, plus my b value, which is my y-intercept, which is -1. So this is the equation in slope-intercept form of the blue line. So let's say I have an equation now, and it says write each equation in slope-intercept form. And I want you to tell me what my slope value is and my b value. So when I have this equation, I need to put it in the form of y equals mx plus b. So looking at this, obviously it's not in that form because I have 4y and that -40. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add 40 on both sides of the equal sign so I can get the y all by itself. So currently I have 4y equals x plus 40. Now to get the y all by itself, what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 4. I'm going to divide each and every term. So I'm going to be left with y equals x over 4 is equivalent to 1/4 x, just a different way to write it, plus 10. Now, as a reminder, the coefficient of x is always your slope. It's always your m value. And right here, the plus 10, your constant, is your y-intercept. So we already figured out the equation. The equation is y equals 1/4 x plus 10. And my slope is 1/4. My rise over run, up 1 over 4, up 1 over 4. And my y-intercept is positive 10. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at the next one. It says now if I have this, I need to figure out all that stuff by putting it in the form of y equals mx plus b. So to do that, what we need to do is first we need to distribute the 4x. Now there's a few ways to solve this. I'm choosing to distribute. So 4x plus 12. And now I'm going to distribute a -2 to the y and to the positive 1. So -2 times y is -2y. -2 times 1 is -2. And that's going to equal 8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to combine 12 and -2. So I'm going to have 4x minus 2y plus 10 is equal to 8. Next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to minus 10 on both sides of the equal sign. And I'll write it up here. This will give me positive 4x minus 2y is equal to -2. Now I'm getting closer, but what I need to do is get this -2y all by itself. So I'm going to minus 4x on both sides. And I'm going to have -2y is equal to -4x minus 2. Now the last step, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to divide each and every term by -2. And that will give me positive y is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2x, and negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. So my equation of this line is y equals 2x plus 1. So from here now, all I need to do is look at my slope, remember, which is the coefficient of x, which is the 2. And if it helps you out, rise 2 over 1, rise 2 over 1. And my y-intercept is just 1. And for our visual people, that would be on the graph of 0, 1. So here's the point, and it's just 1. All right, so moving on to the next one. Same idea, I need to get the y all by itself, and I'm going to start by distributing this negative to the x and to the negative 9. So that's going to be y minus 2 is equal to negative x plus 9. And all I'm going to do now is add 2 to both sides to get y equals negative x plus 11. So here's my equation, is y equals negative x plus 11. And to find the slope, it's a tad tricky because there's no visible coefficient of x, but there is an invisible 1 in front of that x. So while it's simplified form, you don't need that negative 1. We just want you to know that it's there. So my slope is negative 1, and my b value is just my constant, what I am adding or subtracting. In this case, it is 11. Now, last one, this one's pretty tricky because it has those fractions. So what we need to do is clear the fraction by doing a fraction buster. I look at all my denominators, which is 4, 2, and this invisible 1, and I need to figure out what is my least common multiple of each 3. And so what it is it is positive 4, so I'm going to multiply each and every term by 4. Now, there's a few things we can do here. I can either reduce them right away, which is what I like doing, so I'm just left with 3x, or you can multiply the coefficient, but in this case it is more simpler just to divide. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 times y is just y. And then we're going to have 6 times 4 is 24. From here now I can begin the process of getting y by itself by subtracting 3x on both sides of the equal sign. There I'll have 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 24. And if I divide each and every term by 2, this will give me y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 12. So my equation is right there, y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 12. My slope here is negative 3 over 2. And my y-intercept is the coefficient is positive 12. So we're going to look at one word problem, same idea. We're going to be able to take these words and we are going to figure out how to write an equation based off it. So it says Velma has $450 in the bank and she withdraws. This means she's taking out, which means she's going to spend it. $25 each week. Let X represent the number of weeks that have passed and Y represent the total amount of money. So if we think about this, we don't know how much total money she has right now, but I know she has a total of $450 and she's going to withdraw, which means I'm going to take money out of the $450, $25 per week. I don't know how many weeks it is, so it told us to write X. Now this would be 100% correct. If you'd like to write it with the X variable, the 25X before, it would look like the total amount of money is that she spends $250 per week, and she starts off with $450. Both ways is completely acceptable. So the slope is the coefficient of X. It is 25. She spends $25 for every week. She withdraws $25 for every 1 week. Her y-intercept is how much she started with, which is $450. And her equation, which we already wrote down, is the total amount of money is $450 minus the $25 she has per week. So that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Email me or your teacher, and have a great day.